Dad Pod.
This is a video thing as well.
Doesn't have a name.
Podcast.
Midlife crisis.
Paddy Daddy.
Midlife crisis.
Dadcast.
That's not bad, actually, yeah.
The perils of starting a podcast with no earphones in. You've no clue that we're actually going live. What were you just saying there, lads? Put your phones away for fuck's sake, will you? Hello and welcome to the podcast.
This is the best insight into our parenting.
Time on his
That was
phone.
the most modern interjection I've ever had because I was looking at text from the Barry's. Catching up on text.
Okay, right, fair enough. And we're not going to share what's in our private WhatsApps, are we, Nathan? No, we're not. Anyway, let's move on
What's
quickly.
that about?
Wow. You haven't caught up with the text yet. It was Dave. Dave's not here, but he was being as funny by WhatsApp as he is in real life.
Yeah, so not very.
Not that funny at all.
That's
It
pretty
broke
funny.
down after the first WhatsApp, and then there was a lot of back and forth of trying to explain how he was being funny.
Oh, I see now. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
The type of stuff
Well
that we're
done.
not really allowed to talk about, but sometimes occasionally do and get into a bit of trouble for us.
Right.
How's your schedule been lately, lads?
Since Electric Picnic, non-existent.
So my ma was like, how are your kids getting on? I was like, yeah, good, yeah. It's, all your kids, how are all of your kids getting on? Yeah, good, yeah. And that's all you're having, right? Isn't it? And she's looking at me and I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, I don't normally listen, but it popped up in my,
You don't want your mother
popped up in my stream. And I was like, all right.
no,
Well, that's
no.
okay. My wife still hasn't listened yet, so I'm fine. Somebody did mention, hey, were you at the Electric Picnic? I was like, yeah. Are you involved in that podcast? I'm not sure. I'm not one of the dads of one of the kids in my daughter's class, so I'm not sure if they started to listen. But that's all right. I haven't talked about
No,
anything. So
not
it's
like
Nathan.
Nathan.
Who's, like carefully backtracking. Anyway,
I wouldn't want my mother listening
people.
to this podcast.
Hey.
I won't tell you.
Big news. Guess who
pregnant.
just got a promotion. You're looking at the new chairman of the PTA.
Oh!
What can I say?
God, despite coming on here and bagging them like...
I never banged them.
Oh, wow.
Well, literally or metaphorically.
that's another thing we can just isolate the clip and go like, I never banged him. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Okay. What did you have to do to get the promotion, Nathan?
Well, nobody else wanted the job, so...
Okay, what is it?
Is this like a fast track to getting out of the association?
No,
So if
I
go
still have
in
to
and
do my
the big
3
job-
years.
3 years.
So I've only done 1 year.
Right.
2 more years to go. But I don't have 1 year as chairman, I presume.
Okay, right.
Then I'll...
You're you have to do mandatory 3
No,
years.
but you don't have to do anything.
these days, no.
So, but then I can set my sights on maybe board of management level.
Oh yeah. Well, I think
That's where the real power lies.
That's a paid role, is it?
no,
Nothing is a paid role.
no.
Oh, so why would you want to do that?
I'm joking. I don't
Board of
want to do
management
that.
would be interesting. At least you kind of get to influence school policy. Whereas the stuff that you're doing,
You
at the
wanted
minute
to
is-
change the religious ethos of the school. Board of management is where you want to be.
He talked over you there where you were making...
He was about to say that PTA is a load of shit.
No, you can't do anything.
No, you
At
can't.
the minute, it's like, where did the money go? What are we spending it on? It's like it never actually achieves anything. It's kind of it's the perfect level
your
of
job as
bureaucratic stasis.
Your job as PTA is to assist the school. So to raise money for the school or help out
the one
on
thing you'll be able to bring in
school
your
business.
policy now and like charge a proper price for a can of Coke.
Can I go?
Isn't that your biggest gripe?
That we're giving away cans of
You're
Coke for
giving
too
away
cheap
too
at the
much.
Christmas fair.
Yeah, they should be €5.
Well, there is that.
Instigate your own sugar tax and take the money and go. That's what a sugar tax would look like.
Well, I guess part of it is the PTA's revenge on the teachers that we bring the kids in at 11 o'clock on a Friday morning, fill
Sugar
them
them
with
up.
sugar and leave them in school for another 3 hours.
A birthday party last week. Went to the cinema, which is good. It's actually really good value. Unfortunately, we made we miscalculated the time, so with the 12 start, finish at 2 o'clock. You can't just send them home at that point because they've missed lunch, so you have to get them lunch as well.
Oh, bollocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're going to have to feed them anyways at a party, are you not?
Well, if you could do if there was a 10 o'clock screening, you could hand everybody back at 12 and go, off you go. Because the parties are 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
So...
And where'd you bring like hang sandwiches or what was
it was Eddie Rockets right beside it.
Oh, Eddie Rock, it's not even McDonald's.
God.
I know, because it's right beside it.
Oh, no.
it? Take it easy now, kids. One of those we didn't do eat.
Too late though, because we got them jellies. It was just jellies, but fuck me, they went mental.
Right.
They were like jumping off the top seats. There was like 14 of them.
What did they go to watch?
14, right.
Toy Story 4.
And what age are they?
8.
Had they seen it before?
Most of them probably
That's the
have.
problem, and then so they've no actual interest.
They watch everything. It's just
like the
There
bollocks.
was 14 of them, and there was just the 2E crawling them around.
as well.
All right. What sort of numbers? What would you be expected to have there?
Like 12, like maybe
2 for 12.
So you just brought the girls
No,
in the class?
No,
Girls and boys?
Yeah.
There's only 14 in the class?
Yeah. No, so not everybody gets to go.
You only invited certain people from the class?
Well, so there was a rival birthday party on at the same time.
Oh!
Controversial.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
But actually, it was fine. In the end, it was fine.
Was that stressful?
Yeah. Not your children are running away, and you're like, you can't scream at them the way you scream at your own child. Come back, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, could you please come back and return the party?
Little Frank, come back here, eat your fucking nuggets.
No, they're corralled in the restaurant. Now the staff, I'm going to say, were not amazing because they were like looking over, going, "Oh Jesus!"
Well, in
Christ."
fairness,
But
they're working in Eddie Rockets on a Sunday morning, is it?
it was Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. They've probably all been out.
Saturday afternoon.
Right.
Anyway, look. The manager was great, but the other staff were like throwing the shit out, and they're like, "Oh, stay away from it." But the rest of the rest of the restaurant who come in for like a Saturday afternoon milkshake and a date kind of afternoon before they go to the shopping mall, and they were like, a couple sat beside us, and I looked at them, and I was about to say, "You should move on. Really, this is going to be bad for you," but they actually got up straight away and disappeared. Yeah,
I take great pleasure when I'm out and about now looking at that in a way that before I would have been that couple that got up and moved. I'm happy to take front row seat now and go, look at this. This is great. Like it's like
these are not
you're
my
taking
children.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
there's some sort of pleasure involved in it not being your mess.
Well, it was glorious on our summer holidays. For all these free plugs we're given, we're not getting anything in return, I find. The amount of people I've sent to that hotel in Lanzarote,
right.
but all the reviews, which I might have mentioned, like the few weeks beforehand, I was looking on TripAdvisor and going, oh no, the reviews were like really bad.
Right.
But they were all couples who had gone to this hotel.
Right. Idiots.
And it was, oh my God, this is the worst place there has ever been.
Adrian Barry before he had children versus Adrian Barry after he had children. A completely different human being.
Equally as sound, but I understand.
Like everything I liked about that place is the one thing I would detest if there was no children. It was noisy, it was messy.
Yeah,
my children could do what they wanted and they didn't stand out.
Your noise didn't actually matter.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do get used to just generally a different level of chaos. We're not going to Eddie Rockets anytime soon for a freebie anyway. But
I mean, look, sure. I'm sure there are many good Eddie Rockets.
exactly, and loads of good staff in that specific Eddie Rockets.
Yeah.
Just not that one or two.
Dadcast@offtheball.com is the email address. Lads, the snip is no bother at all, says Brian. Got it done on a Saturday, put my feet up for the rest of the day and wore briefs for the week, as opposed to a normal week where you're not wearing them. But anyway, took it handy in work for a few days and was grand. It's very common. 3 lads in my job got a Groupon for it and went in together. Real men get the snip. Lol.
A Groupon.
Feel free to ring if you'd like a step-by-step of my procedure. And then...
Thanks.
You're all right.
Many thanks. Also, love the podcast. So relatable. We just need McIntyre to update us on whether or not he's booked his appointment.
What was the first part of that comment?
The snip is absolutely no bother at all.
Yeah.
Got it done on a Saturday.
The
put my
briefs.
feet up.
What are briefs?
Not boxers.
And not Y fronts.
I would
like-
say they're more Y-fronty than boxers.
They're pants.
They're tight
They're like
jocks.
Not tight. I think they're soft. I mean, look.
Soft to the touch.
And there's some touching.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of feeling around after it happens. Just it's still there. Yeah.
You'd never be more aware.
I'm sorry, little man. I won't do it again.
I
That's
mean,
it
you
now.
won't.
The worst is over. On the subject of soothers, hi folks, I listen to the podcasts. I listen to all the podcasts and I love them. We have an 18-month-old and just turned 4-year-old. Okay, so you're in the teeth of it. This is the worst part of it.
Excuse the
Honestly,
pun.
it gets better. Heard the bit on soothers and thought I'd share with you how we got rid of ours. Told the 4-year-old that we were going to give his soothers to the fairies who would bring them to the new babies in the hospital. We gave him 3 weeks to prepare by repeating this and reading him a story called The Last Nunu. It's about a dinosaur family with a boy too old to have a soother. So with the fairy story, the storybook and the promise of a new bike, we headed off to the fairy. You got distracted there because Kevin Caban and his dog have walked in.
Come on in.
Bring the dog in. This is we're doing the Dadcast here, and this is
Dadcasting.
this is
Say the dog cast.
hey.
You did say
hello, McGuire.
you were
Can we
never
get him
going
on
to
camera?
appear on the Dadcast.
Exactly.
He's going to
I
break
don't know if we
everything,
can-
isn't
Stay
he?
behind
Come on, come on in.
Come on in, come on in. Bring the dog in.
Can we get him a
God.
microphone there?
We could do a pets episode.
Dog cast.
Sit down there. Maguire.
Pet?
Maguire, get in there.
No.
Have you got a pet?
No.
God, I'm.
You have a
Pet
pet?
hate.
Hell no.
What are you thinking?
How are you, Maguire? What's
I
happening?
get a fish.
He's a slobbery old yoke, isn't he?
Get the mic over there. What?
He's just a good one.
He's a bit like you. He's a slobbery old
What are you
fella.
telling me, Tommy? Shout.
Go to the TV.
Go to the TV. Kev, go to the TV so we can actually see the dog. This is where he does his shit, and we're like, oh,
If you hold the mic
hello,
in that
Maguire.
direction,
Hello,
it's
Maguire. Hiya.
Like, take it off.
Is he-
You got to keep controlling that.
Is he
He's
better
strong,
behaved
though.
than the
Talk
last
to
time he was in?
Yeah, he is. He's strong though. He's
What do you
getting
say?
strong.
Are you getting him trained?
Yeah, I am in the middle of actually taking
I
him
need
back
to
for the
him.
next book sessions as well. Yeah.
What did
Yeah.
him?
What are the senses?
Dog. Hard to kill bad.
He's going to snot himself off the bench.
Oh! Very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him, Maguire. Tell these lads what they are.
We're in the middle of Dadcast, Kev.
Oh yeah, in the middle of it. Yeah.
Have you
anything
anything
to contribute?
No, I told you I will not contribute to that.
Why?
Under any way, shape,
Well,
or form.
you've already. That's already.
Well,
too
they
late
say
now.
bring Maguire in. That's it.
Yeah.
He's the boy. He's the boy now at the moment.
The
Yeah.
baby of the house.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Taking over from the kids. I think.
Are
that's
you getting
what it
him
is.
spade?
Yeah, just talked about it out there. Yeah,
yeah.
He'd be. It looks like he was my
Well,
phone.
that's not
Because
Perfect
no more than yourself, he has a reputation around
What a dick! Honest to God.
around the Phoenix. Around the Phoenix.
What a dick! Honestly.
Phoenix Park, is that-
Seriously, God,
You have a
no.
microphone
Don't
over
go talking about the Phoenix Park. I tell you what, now that's got a reputation in itself. Honestly, lads.
And so,
Does Maguire does have a reputation around the Phoenix Park though, doesn't he?
No, he's a good lad. He's a great dog.
And so we've literally just been talking about getting the snip there.
I've been advised maybe just to calm him,
him
things
down
like
a
that.
bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
calm him but he's a lot settled.
Talking about Maguire now.
He's a lot settled. Lads, I tell you what, honest to God.
McIntyre last week when we were at the electric picnic announced to the assembled audience that he'd have the snip done by the time we got there next year.
I'll tell you one story about the snip. A friend of mine got the snip, and his ball swelled up the size of a tennis ball, and that's no
What do you
joke.
mean his ball?
One of his balls swelled up. It went wrong.
Right.
So yeah,
And what-
I wouldn't advise it personally. I
Do we
wouldn't
know?
advise it.
So we've had a fair bit of.
This person.
Yeah, you do know him. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We've had a fair bit of interaction about the snip, and it generally seems that if it goes wrong, you haven't sort of abided by the rules, which are to some guy was just tweeting
Not
us
do
in
anything.
saying,
Press the balls.
Now you stay away
the
from
briefs
us.
on and rest yourself.
Yeah, I think that's probably there could be something in that. Maybe just take a week off, take a couple of weeks off. But
Would you get it done yourself?
no,
Ever?
no. Well, I've no need to.
I mean,
What?
I mean,
Not out. He's eating away the cables here, so.
Yeah. Go on. Right.
Not so funny now, is it?
Don't
do you
go
want
to
to hang around?
the
Do you want to hang around and have a chat?
No, I don't want to have it.
Huh?
No, I'm grand. I'm going to go and collect my contact lenses. That's what I'm in town for.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this is an interesting deviation. Why don't you come in sometime and pull up a seat and actually have a chat?
Oh yeah, sorry, that'd be great. We're going to guilt you into it now. Come on.
I could tell you some good stuff. I could tell you some good stuff.
Come
No,
on.
I don't want to.
Hey, give us one. Give us one good.
I'm grand. Oh no, I tell you what. I'll come in one time. One time I will come in with you. Yeah, I'll tell you about the trials and tribulations of having a child with Down syndrome. There you go. That'll be a good one for you. Yeah, I will do.
Well, when are you going to do it now that we have you live on air and hold you to account over
Next
this?
Friday sounds like a good day too.
Am I around Friday?
You probably are. Friday's good days for you in the mornings.
No, probably not. Actually, no.
We will arrange the details on the back end, but you've now committed to it, Kev.
Yeah, just like
So it's too late to back out.
Dave and the Snip, you have to come in and do the show.
I'm
Let's not
not
let it slip
talking
through the
about
cracks.
anything personal. You lads get thoughts. You're talking about the personal
I know,
things in
I
life,
know,
lads.
I
I tell
know,
you,
I know.
honestly. Jeez, I don't know what your wives think of you. Honestly,
Well, they don't
not
listen.
much. Not much, clearly.
That's it. We've already reached the bottom of the barrel with that stuff, so it can't go any further. Stop you eating those cables. Come on. I know, but the cable's getting wrapped up. Suddenly we're no longer on air.
Yeah.
So I used to have this dog, Maguire.
Come on.
We used to have a studio.
Cables too many. I don't think that's what you're worried
Don't bring
about.
dogs to work. That's the thing. Right, lads, go on.
Right.
Come on, Kev, fair
Take it
play.
easy. See you later.
See you, Maguire. Take it easy.
Good luck.
Go on.
Jesus, there he is.
What's he taking now?
Where's your ball? Where's your ball? So
Well,
you
that's
manage to get
that's another one in the negative for the Snip. The giant
yeah, but-
ball was the first time I've heard of that, and somebody we know. Should we speculate?
Yeah, we
wildly
should.
about it?
I think we should have asked, was it like a former Ireland international?
Yeah,
Kev, was it
Somebody,
Kev.
somebody we worked with.
He's not listening to us now.
They've turned us down outside.
Former Ireland teammate. We're going to go with the giant swollen testicle after anyway. Look, lads, you're on camera. There you go.
Come back.
Turn us
No,
up.
it's fine.
Can you hear
It's
us?
fine. They can, yeah. No,
Yeah.
they're too
Kilban.
busy. They've been distracted by the
gone,
dog.
he's gone.
As have we. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Kev. Hey,
Kev.
Kev. There.
He's gone.
Ask him there, Sue, is it a former Ireland player? Is it a former Ireland player?
Who had the giant ball?
Right. That
a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
The door was open to the office there, and all they could hear was a former Ireland player that had a giant ball.
Good man, Nathan.
Good work.
The HR. Okay, so everybody knows we don't make any edits to this, right? So that was the general chaos of that, because
God knows how that sounded. Bad.
Or worked. But sure, look. Anyway, you can complain in the comments. I know many of you are starting to do that anyway. It was back to the dinosaur, the soother story.
Soothers, yeah.
Reading a story called The Last New. It's about a dinosaur family and a boy too old to have a soother. So the fairy story, the storybook, and the promise of a new bike. We headed off to the fairy tree in Marley Park. The promise of a new bike will solve anything, right? I mean, that's... wouldn't it? It's a big enough prize, they understand exactly what it is.
We've used all of that stuff for nappies and soothers.
Right.
And...
That was a car.
yeah. He hasn't stopped... funny enough, because obviously his younger sister has the gum-gums, we call them. So he will go... At times he'll be like, oh, Annie's gum-gum. I'm like, no, not Annie's gum-gum. You're off them. Like, what you just, you know...
He wants to take it.
Yeah. But it's like late at night when he's tired and stuff.
Try having a 1-year-old. Well, you do have a 1-year-old, sorry.
I tried.
So, she has a soother. So, the other day we're collecting one of the lads from school, and she's wandering around being all cute and stuff. And I was like, oh, isn't she lovely? She walks over to the other child and she's like, sort of rubbing her on the back. This, like, 3-year-old grabs the soother straight out of her mouth. It's like, ooh.
Alien soother. Did she shoot straight in?
No, she literally just ripped it out of the other girl's mouth. I was like, yes.
Not great.
No. What do you mean, yes?
Stand your ground, you know.
But she wasn't on the ground, she was actively bullying the other child.
Yeah. I do worry about that.
I'm the one who knocks. So with the fairy story, the storybook and the promised new bike, we headed off to the fairy tree in Marley Park. Told everyone in the park on the way to the tree. Today he's becoming a big boy. Found the tree and there were hundreds there. He dropped his at the tree and we got a new bike with pedals on the way home. He mentioned this to you that night and a couple more times over the next 3 days, but that was it. I don't think it's going to be that easy for the 18-month-old when his day comes. Thanks for all the laughs. Kindest regards, Gavin. Right, that's a good story. That works.
We did Marley Park fairy tree as well.
And it worked?
Certainly did.
Is there an actual tree that...
Yeah, there is, yeah. There's just thousands of suitors around it.
Yeah.
So that was the good south side.
It'll be the last thing standing when the apocalypse comes.
They'll still be there, yeah. Here's another one from Anonymous, and I'm not going to do the name thing this time, hopefully. Hi, lads. I have a 1-year-old daughter and a big fan of the pod since you started. It's been great to have relatable stories about newborns and how to possibly deal with her as she gets older. This week is settling in week at creche for her, and I've taken the week off as my wife settles back into work after maternity leave. Yesterday, we went into the creche for an hour for her to meet the staff and other kids in her room. My wife took a little time off work to come as well. When we arrived, our daughter was a bit tentative at first, but not unusually so as she got used to the new surroundings. After a while, she started playing, and the staff suggested we leave for a short while. I agreed, although my wife was reluctant. Eventually, we did and popped out for 30 minutes. When we came back, the staff told us she'd been quite upset after we left. We could see she'd been crying quite a bit. My wife was distraught and was blaming herself for leaving her on her first day. Our daughter was back to being in good form after we arrived back and was playing away, and again in great form when we brought her home. My wife, on the other hand, was pretty inconsolable all day that she had left her in a position of being upset without us there to help. I was feeling bad, but I see this as a necessary step for her to see us leave while she stays in the creche. Since I've become a dad, I'm a lot more emotional about news stories, movies, etc.
I'm D. McIntyre.
But I was thinking more practically in this case. What I'm wondering now is, are both of our reactions normal and understandable, or am I being a bit cold and heartless? I'm about to bring her in for day 2, and hopefully she'll be happier, though this must be such a weird experience for her. I know it could take time. Would be interested to hear what the pod thinks. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Anon.
All of those things can happen, can't they? Like, we've been through something similar recently, and it's... Like, you can, it's great that you could be a bit, like, colder is not quite the right word, but if you can not have to tap into being extremely emotional all the time about all these events in your child's life, then that's not a bad way to be. But at the same time, like, if that's the emotion that overcomes you, then, like, roll with that. Like...
Definitely not being cold and heartless. Someone needs to be practical. There will be times when you both lose it, and that's not a great time. Somebody just needs to be the tag team of sense. There's like a... Now, I say this knowing that our house has been aflame since school started, mornings and evenings, with from all 5 members of the house. 4 are our eldest has been the only one with a calm head throughout it.
Sorry, I'm done with this shit.
She's the only adult in the situation. But it's like, he can't be as emotional as his missus, and there'll be times when she'll be the one and he's the bag of nerves.
It's all right.
Yeah, you just try and not make it a huge deal. Like, starting something new is going to be stressful.
Yeah.
You just don't want it something that somehow affects them for many years to come.
We found that our guy is, so I've mentioned maybe it might have been a month that he's in Montessori now.
Oh, yeah. Been sent home since?
No, he was never sent home, actually. But
they're not calling you to come and collect them?
He did have a few accidents, but they've been dealt with and everything is...
Nathan, I think you'll find if you'd listened to the last episode, that was a friend of Adrian's.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to...
How's your friend doing?
In my head now. Doing pretty well. Anyway, he's really...
It wasn't!
He's
Maybe that was the WhatsApp. Damn it. Go on.
No, I told that story. He is acting out a fair bit now.
Oh, yeah.
Like with us. Not so much in school. Like he comes home talking about, I had a great time today. I was playing with this one, that one. He was like, he seems to be having a great time, but there's a lot of acting out going on. I don't know. It's dialed up particularly. I was away for a few days last week, and it seemed to. It was a work trip. Very productive.
Have we seen any work?
Have we seen any work trip? It'll be coming your way.
It'll probably come the same time as all your work stuff from the US comes through.
Stuff.
All the stuff from the many junkets you've been on over the last years.
Holidays. They were holidays. That wasn't
Which
work.
stuff? That's anyway. Tangent. It seemed to coincide with whenever I went away, he dialed up the neediness. Like he doesn't any attention that his sister gets, he's flipping it like he's
the
like
jealousy is
going
unbelievable.
crazy and flips out now at anything, like at absolutely anything. There's no consoling him. It's like last night he went over to stand on his sister's leg, and I took him aside. To be honest, he had only just gently stood in it. It wasn't the worst thing he's ever done, but he was definitely going over to do exactly that.
Wasn't Roy Keane Alpha
But it wasn't quite standing over and going, take that, another thing. But he knows exactly what he's doing. And then, like, as quick as anything, he'd be like, oh, sorry, Annie, sorry. And I'm like, no.
Not buying that.
Here. So I took him aside last night, and I was like, in the heat of all this, and calmly sitting him down. He's continuing to cry. And so I sat with him there, and I said, right, as soon as you stop crying now, we can chat. And so we'd sit there looking at each other for a while, and he's still well. And I go, okay, I'd repeat it. And this will go on, and on and on and on. And then eventually he managed to calm down. Tried to have a rational conversation with him, saying, listen, this is not good. I said, like, I was showing him a picture of him when he was that age, and I was like, look, you were that size, same size. So imagine if somebody did that to you. What would I do if somebody did that to you?
You'd kill them.
And he was like, no, like, as in I would say no to them. And I was like, what would I say if somebody did that now to your sister? No. And I was like, exactly. So you just need, you have this what feels like a quite, not quite mature conversation, but quite a rational conversation. And it feels like there's
progress,
some sort of progress made out of it, and that actually that's something. All I want is some small part of that message, any part of that message to land. But inevitably, half an hour later, he's gone over to like rabbit puncher in the back of the head. It's like as if, has any of this?
No.
Do you remember half an hour ago?
It turns out no. What age is he? 3?
2, just over 2.5.
Okay, you're screwed until he was 16. Maybe 17. It's fake. It's all fake. All that progress is fake.
Right.
You've also had a lot of upheaval, haven't you?
I think the upheaval.
Your wife's gone back to work, and
the wife's gone back to work. Obviously, new
you were
baby,
on the junket.
House. I was away at work.
Do we need to all go along that this was work in case your wife's listening?
No,
This be another issue.
She knows the full. That was a junket.
It was work. I've been on junkets, and this was not a junket. It was very enjoyable, but it was work.
Yeah. I'm going on one of those junkets next month as well. So
I've heard that everyone's going on a junket. I'm delighted for you all.
No, it's not everyone. Just me and Adrian.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
I'll give you a few tips about productivity when you're out there.
Okay, there'll be more to come. I need to learn how it works. The jealousy is the other thing, right? So we have a birthday in September and a birthday in October, and the birthday in September resulted in the one who's not having the birthday until October going completely mad for the entire month, basically.
Oh, really?
Pre, post, and during, and like, and now it's her birthday. It turns out it's contagious. It turns out that, like,
no way.
So, what would you like for your birthday? I have something to tell you. I've got a new story. I'm like, what the hell? And I have no idea how to get out of it other than to, like, bribe your way out of it.
Yeah.
You can have something too, eventually. It's just a...
So you're bribing the one who's just got all the presents for her birthday.
Yeah,
a couple of weeks
like
ago.
in fairness, you can have a fairly rational conversation. That you can say, you know why you're upset at the minute. You're just being jealous, and he's like, okay. So in fairness, you do get rational conversation. You still get stormed off and doors slammed, and then like.
So, that's all I'm craving now. Is to have a rational conversation where they understand that there's a consequence. I know that, yeah. Well, one of them is like 10 months old. So
all I want is a little bit of common sense in the room. Am I the only one here with my head screwed on?
I don't mind if they like storm off, or if we have a difference of opinion, or they storm off, or whatever that might be. But that there's some sort of sense of you do that thing, and there will be a consequence to that.
Yeah.
Where at the minute it's like, fuck, it's impossible.
We nearly have to go. Has anybody got anything else this week for us? It's a short episode. Apologies, the lads were late. I was on time for a change.
No. I'll talk through the wonderful experience of watching my children play football last week. Fantastic.
Yeah?
Because my eldest lad last year had a very bad experience with it.
Didn't want to go.
Didn't want to go at all. Did go and just wasn't ready for it. But went last Sunday, happiest man in the world.
Right.
Also, they're completely delusional, it turns out, when they're playing underage football.
They think they're
because
right.
I only saw the first 20 minutes, and now in fairness, they were about a year and a half younger than everybody else on the team they were playing.
Yeah.
Who also threw in a couple of overage players just to add to the fun. So, 6'2", 9-year-old arrives in and scores 6 goals and is delighted with himself. Come home and the two lads are like, yeah, we won all our matches.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
And they've been buzzing all week. They're like, yeah, we smashed them lads. I was like, what the? Okay, fair enough.
Well, I mean, when they get beaten now next week, when your man 6'2" is off sick or whatever.
No, he was on the opposition team.
Oh yeah, they lost. They lost
every match.
They just thought
They just, in their head, they somehow blanked out
Yeah.
All right.
all the goals
that's
and are like buzzing.
Fair enough.
I
That's
think
good
that
outlook.
you should never, you should never take that away from them.
No,
that's
That's
a great
a
outlook.
gift.
I know, yeah.
There's a good DM in here, will I read it quickly?
Go for it, yeah.
We're not to read out his name. Hi lads, great show. Keep up the good work. Don't read out my name. I hope I've come to a place of no judgment. You're in the wrong place. X. When it comes to pacifiers, with our first, she gave it to Santa, which went well. No problems with her. With my boys was a different story. After a lot of failed attempts, I decided to go it alone without my wife knowing. I put a hole in every single pacifier I could find and dipped them in vinegar. Success as I watched him put every one of them in the bin, saying they're gone yucky. He then went on to tell everyone of his friends that they were yucky too, and trying to throw theirs in the bin as well. Part 2. I had the snip after my third child was 3 months old. I was 35. The day I had it done was my 10th wedding anniversary. Needless to say, I didn't have to get her a present that year. It wasn't that bad after a bit of discomfort for 36 hours. Just took a couple of painkillers and I was grand. I played a hurling match 3 days later.
Uh-oh.
To say I was any less of a man, I got a straight red after a massive brawl, which I deserved. I'd never been sent off before. So, Dave, it's not too bad. And the wife said it improved our sex life. Thanks, lads. Don't read out my name.
All right.
And the temptation's so strong because his name is just right there.
It's very strong.
35-year-olds.
Wow, well, we definitely shouldn't,
Three
whatever
kids.
about the second part, we definitely shouldn't read out his name for effectively poisoning
The child.
Yeah.
with vinegar.
I have
Vinegar.
That's a good idea, though.
It improved his sex life. That's my theory. Gone. You know,
You
makes you,
thought it was
makes you less of a man. Which is not quite what I was saying, but...
It was totally what you're saying.
Well, it wasn't.
I mean, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was,
No,
it was your internal...
Not that it makes you less of a man, because a human being is
What
made up
is
of
there?
more than just a sex drive, but like ultimately that it would impact your sex drive.
Oh,
That's what I was saying.
is it not your, like, the core of your being?
Yeah, but no, the core of your want to procreate.
I mean, yeah, I mean, come on.
No, that's
You're
what I'm
like-
saying.
You're not, I mean, it's for the crack. It's for fun. You're doing it for the crack and for fun. Not just for like,
But I suppose-
yes, we're going to have a
Not
baby.
because it's on the schedule.
That's my but that's my entire point. That I did say this at the time, read this somewhere over the last 40 years, that it's actually coming from a fairly Neanderthal place of, yes, obviously it's great fun and very enjoyable, but it's actually coming from a place
It's still
of
coming,
the
Adrian.
requirement to to procreate. Just to be absolutely clear.
Did you mean that in the literal sense, or what did you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Right, on that filthy note. The dads this week, Adrian, Nathan, no Dave, I don't know where he is.
He's not a stag.
Oh, a niece.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, now I
I'm forwarding
remember.
him going, that's definitely a Belleville Boys reunion, isn't it?
Nice.
Oh, poor Dave, not here to defend himself. Right, another Dadcast in the book. At DadcastPod on Twitter, Dadcast at offthewall.com. You can leave your comments on the YouTube stream and we'll try to ignore them, or we'll try to report on them next week. Share the podcast, rate us on iTunes if you get a chance, because that really helps. So we'll see you next week. Good luck.